Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk all things reality TV or whatever.
Ah, ah.
I'm your host, Carol. We are joined by our wonderful co-host, Lily. How you doing?
Child, we still trucking along, child. This season is just getting nastier and nastier. We don't know who the fuck the Mo is.
No idea.
I am so confused. I did
Who
not
the fuck?
expect to be playing the game of damn self and be this damn confused. Like, it could really be anybody.
Literally anybody.
It might be me.
That's how hard. That's how much we don't know who the fuck it is. They eating it up though. They keeping it a secret because I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
know, girl. So if you haven't seen our other Mo videos, go watch them. We did a premiere recap. We also did episode 2 through 5, and then this is going to be episode 6 through 8. So we are
Mm-hmm.
starting off on episode 6. And if you recall, at the end of last episode,
At the
we were
end of Final Jam.
we were at right before exemption. Alex had presented them a little cute little challenge to give
Mhm.
right before exemption, right before elimination. She presented
The
a challenge.
quiz.
The quiz. She presented a challenge for people to get the chance to get an exemption. And we found that Joy had lied her way to the top.
Mother.
She lied her way to exemption.
If you need a recap,
They need it.
They had to eat 3 meals. If you were not sitting on one of the bomb detonators, your meal was something nasty every time. It was hot wasabi, apple cider vinegar, and laced with chili pepper dessert.
Mhm.
Mind you, Joy, the baddest bitch to touch foot in the Mo history, I don't give a fuck.
Period.
Sat up there and took all of them courses like a champ. Okay, I love beer, bitch. Yes, because one thing about Joy, she's gonna come for an exemption.
Mm-hmm. And she's gonna come hard. So we are here. Ew, that sounded nice. We're here, and Joy is presented with the option to either decide to cut the bomb, stop the bomb, and win
take the exemption
and win the team $15,000, or take the exemption. So we get a little drum roll. Joy is talking to Will, and Will is like, "But Joy, you already got an exemption." And Joy said, "I'm greedy.
I'm greedy." I love Joy. I love Joy because she really brings the dramatic. She brings the suspense.
You know, I want to win this game.
I want to win this game. Like, come on, Joy.
Come on.
She is serving. No, but then Will really kept saying, like, you already had it. Okay.
I want it again.
I'll take it. I would take the exemption. Me, I don't know.
Just
like, to keep sitting on bitches.
Like, I would have them mad.
Honestly, I was very shocked that she did not take it. I was very shocked she didn't take it. So she ended up cutting the wire, and she earned the team $15,000. And it's like, she said y'all will earn back the money,
and did.
And now the money is halfway earned back, damn near.
The fuck,
more than halfway, $15,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because she only risked $25,000.
Will says, what Joy did, she helped win it for the group, but is she trying to help win it for the group because she's already taken away so much from the group and she's the mole? So at this point, Will thinks Joy is the mole, and girl, I mean, I guess she could be. I don't know who the mole is.
Well, the one person I don't think is the mole is Joy. There is no way Joy, obvious chaotic ass, is the mole. I think Joy is just the most chaotic person ever, and she proves that these next few episodes. She just keeps serving like reality TV gold. Like, I don't know what Joy needs to be on The Amazing Race. I need to see her on Big Brother. I need to see her on Survivor. I want to see it all. I don't care. The Circle, bitch. All of it. Dancing with the Stars. You name it. I love Joy. Girl? Joy has me tuned in.
Freestyle, in fact. So they go back to the luxurious house. Alex has them sitting outside all around, and she says, "You guys have now earned $29,500 in your pot, but we still have a quiz to get to." So, and matter of fact, I think you better call. Okay, so they go to the quiz. Everyone's going to take their quiz or whatever. Greg says the quiz is getting harder and harder. He talks about Kasi possibly being the mole. He says that she's at the top of his list, but he still wants to spread it out a little bit or whatever.
And that's what Kasi really been doing some mole ass shit.
Yes, Greg thinks Kasi the mole because Kasi done dropped the money bag. Kasi was acting like she didn't see the keys.
And she still gives Mo in these next few episodes. Like, And we don't see Cassie's perspective that she's trying to confuse people. Mm-hmm. So I just have to assume that Cassie just be fuck. I think she's the mole though. Like I think she's definitely my top choice as the mole. But someone went home thinking that. So I don't know. But it's like if Cassie's not the mole, why should we be doing all of this shit?
And that's the thing. She might just be a bad player. No shade.
No shade.
I literally no shade. Like shout out to Cassie. Love you. Damn. So Pranav says that Avery has crept up on his list of potential moles this round. So there's
and that. It's like, damn, the duo. But it's because Avery keep doing shit.
Avery, sit down.
You throwing off the wrong motherfucking people.
So Avery says that Pranav and her, they strategize all the time, but she has kept some of this information about Jacob possibly being the mole to herself. And her number one suspect is Jacob. Mm-hmm. Jacob says his number one suspect is Joy. Joy says the quiz is difficult and she doesn't know that if not taking her exemption was smart or not. She feels like she low-key should have took the exemption because she don't know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Will says Joy was the highest on his list. So a lot of people got Joy. And it's like,
y'all really keeping Mother's name in y'all mouth. Like she got y'all that pressed? Because it just cannot give Mo to me. Like, I just feel like there is no way she has been doing all this upfront and honest shit with y'all, and she's the actual Mo. Like, honestly, I will be gagged.
Gagged as fuck. It just doesn't really make sense to me. But a lot of people think she's the mole at this point. So hey, Alex announces to them that they are officially at the halfway point at this point.
Yeah.
And they get to reading the results. So we see Greg's little telephone. He clicks his telephone. He's safe. Mm-hmm. Jacob has a diary room. He says that this quiz was the toughest one yet, and he's scared and whoop. But we see that Jacob is safe, Avery is safe, and then we get to Pranav. And it's like, not daddy. Please. Y'all, the way. So I'm watching, and I'm like, please not Pranav. Please not Pranav.
Not out of everybody.
Out of everybody. You took away the eye candy? After Dom?
The brains?
The brawn?
We love this thing.
The body
Dom and Pranav this early. Like I just was not prepared.
I wasn't prepared. Like I was here for it. I was here for the,
the body yaddy. The body yaddy.
Girl. So we find out Pranav is out of the game.
And it's mainly because of Avery.
Avery took out both the fine men.
Literally, Avery.
I might not be able to stand behind you no more.
Because Dom sat up there and voted Avery, and then he got sent home supposedly, and now Pranav is the same way. Even Avery had a diary room in both situations saying that I feel guilty by sending these people home because of the actions that I'm doing. And it's like,
don't stop doing them.
Not the men.
The men.
The daddies.
The other men, they could go.
They can go.
But not the daddies.
You confusing the wrong people. That's how you confuse your number one ally.
Please.
Girl. So King Daddy Pranav is out.
King Daddy Pranav is out, unfortunately. And Avery started crying. And it's like, girl, I mean, and she started crying out of guilt because she knew it was her. And the girl started comforting her, and they was like, oh my God, Avery, do. But it's like, girl, be for real, that was you. Like, you took my man out. And so Greg is relieved because Pranav was a strong player.
Yeah.
He was a strong competitor, so he's like, ooh, that's good.
Like, I'm really shocked he was not towards the end of this game. Like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. So Alex takes Pranav on the walk of shame. And Casey has a diary room, and she says, if Avery and Pranav were sharing information, why is Pranav out?
Yeah.
Avery's still so good.
I will say I was confused because she was like, was she throwing him under the bus? I was like, how was she throwing him under the bus, though?
I don't know. I was also.
You throw someone under the bus in the mall?
And at this point, I felt like Casey was still the most. I was like, she's just saying anything. Her diary don't mean nothing.
And then I guess she wasn't.
Mind you, she's not.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of these people. It's like you're not the mole. Like, because thing, if you're not actively trying to make yourself seem like the mole, at least you're not telling us that. Then what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you just giving Mo behavior? Like, do they cast people who could kind of slightly give Mo in every situation?
I think they cast people who have a suspiciousness to them. Just the way Cassie talks, it gives to me. The way Cassie speaks gives Mo. Like, I would think she's the Mo.
It does it's very slow, very calculated sometimes. Like,
So after this. Pranav leaves, and it's the nighttime. Everyone is asleep. They're in their bed. They're minding their business.
And Alex
here go Alex.
like the damn police at 3:17 a.m. Girl, I would have been mad with Alex that night.
Because why are you yelling? Because everybody wake up!
Not only am I being waking up, I'm being fucking scarred. I'm in this random ass country. And I hear banging at 3 a.m. I would have screamed.
Scrump. Scrump's a good scrump.
I would have scared Alex.
So Alex wakes them the fuck up. And they have to pack up and head to the mountain. So they all driving all early in the morning, heading up to the mountains or whatever.
Early as fuck in the morning.
Early as fuck in the morning. And as they're driving there, Joy says, and I have written down, Joy says she's afraid of heights with a question mark. Because
it's like everything Joy said is like, what? You a pilot, mamas?
Oh, God.
Oh my. It's like, I guess.
I mean, like, I guess you could be afraid of heights in the plane?
With the way? I just wouldn't want my pilot to be scared of heights. No shade. I would definitely not want my pilot to be scared of heights.
Her pilot's license might need to get revoked after
You will not take mother's license.
You're right. Let me set the fuck up.
Exactly.
And sit my ass down.
The fuck down.
Quick. Fuck. I don't know what I was saying. The devil almost took over me when that's it. I don't know what I was saying. Exactly. Anyways.
You'll respect Joy on this podcast.
And will. So Avery has another diary room, and I guess she just thinks she's that girl for this. No shade. But she's like, yes, I'm just keeping this information to myself that Jacob might be the mole.
No one knows that I think Jacob's the mole.
Like, girl, Jacob's not the mole.
You the mole.
You the mole.
I will say I feel like Jacob could be the mole now. But it's like, who else is the fucking mole?
Avery, Will, Jacob,
like,
or
I honestly feel like Avery cannot be the mole because, like, why would they have Avery literally the entire season telling us, "Oh, I'm doing this to seem like the mole," and it's like, don't throw me off like that. Don't throw me off like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because there's no way Avery should be the mole. It's like they really just had us up here playing us this whole time while she's, I'm doing this, and this. And then we see Dom go home supposedly because of her. We see Pranav go home supposedly because of her. And at the end of the day, she's a fucking mole. I'm going to be mad. Because how the fuck Pranav and Dom go home?
I agree.
I'm going to have to call me and production going to have to have a little talk.
Okay, Seema. Okay, so they pull up to the Monster Automobile Gangsta. And when they pull up, Alex is like, y'all got backpacks in the back or whatever. And she says, y'all have to grab the backpacks and follow us. But then Alex tells us, the viewer, she says, just know that everything in this game can be touched by the mole's hand. So the backpack might have been touched by the mole's hand. And it's like,
I would love to know when they have these decisions. Like I would, you know how like in film or media in general, like when they want to do a big plot twist, they kind of like show like flashbacks of when the person was doing these things behind.
That's what they're gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do.
I think
I would love to see like a montage of where the mole and what the mole was doing at what point in the game.
They have to on the finale. They have to have a segment after. This is what when like let's say it's Kasi. They're gonna flash back to Kasi dropping the bag. They're gonna flash back to episode 1 when Kasi was untying the rope. Like she actually wasn't untying the rope. They're gonna flash back to when Kasi. What else she do? She was just doing shit. The birds. Rock paper scissors and the birds. Like
right.
A lot. Chicken when she took the exemption. Wait, Kasi's the mole. What else she do? There's one more I feel like she did. She was one of the ones who didn't see the key. Kasi, what else she do?
She did a lot.
She did one more thing, and I just really like remember it, but I don't.
What
she was gonna say? Go.
When
go.
The bank robber, she was the person trying to lead them with the bank robber. She ain't know, and she wasn't saying nothing. No,
you know what's funny? I was gonna say when they were asked about this episode, or let me not get to it yet. But this episode, she did some not this episode, but this episode and the next episode.
Yeah,
Kasi is the mole.
Kasi is the motherfucking mole.
Kasi is the motherfucking mole. Kasi.
And when she not, if Kasi not the mole, then what the fuck Kasi been doing?
If Kasi not the mole, I'm going to invite her on this fucking podcast and ask her, girl, what the hell?
I
need answers. Because why you did mole shit every damn, Kasi better be the damn mole. So we move. Alex tells them that they all need to have their backpack, and this is going to be the most physical challenge yet. Your goal is to carry your backpacks up the mountain and deliver them to me, Alex. However, but first, only 3 of the backpacks contain $10,000, and not all of the backpacks will make them to me, because you guys will be periodically voting people off of this mountain trek. So the 3 people who end up making it to me with the backpacks are the 3 backpacks we will be deciding who we will be opening to see if they have the $10,000 in them. Now, we find out that the mole has chosen the 3 people's backpacks who they want money in. And honestly, if I was the mole, I would choose my own backpack so that I have the most control.
Cassie, let me just sit out.
Girl, so they start to decide, they have to decide now 2 people to not even start the climb. So they immediately have to eliminate 2 backpacks. And this is when Will the master,
One thing about, and this is why I feel like it really could be Will, and Joy been clocking too. Like, I just feel like he always takes control of these situations. He always has to be in the lead. I mean, he even says, like, in the dining room, like, I don't necessarily even think I have money. I just want to be there at the end so I can make sure it's completed. And it's like, or do you want to be there at the end for other reasons? You know what I mean? You just never know. Because, you know, it would be so easy for him to go in there and play this role like, oh, I've been doing a lot for the team. I'm a team player. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And it's like, you get to be the mole and gain money for the pot.
And Will said he feels like it might be in his bag and Avery's bag. Neither of them had cash in their bag. Spoiler alert. So it's like, Will says he feels like it might be his bag or Avery's bag, and both of them should go up because they probably both have the money because we're the big players. Now, this is where it kind of got confusing because Will kept using this logic, and it was like, wait, what are you saying? So Will's logic is that because he's a strong player, everyone might think that the mole would not put the money in his bag. So the mole would put money in his bag because everyone would vote him.
Reverse psychology, backwards bullshit. And that's what made me feel like if this is the shit he can spew, that's the strategy for being the mole. He's trying to reverse psychology in the entire mole game. He gonna play the loyal person, the one who wants to complete the task, the one who wants everyone to be here and be together. Whole time, that nigga the mole. That nigga a munch.
Nigga, he eat it for lunch. Bitch, I'm a better. I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? Oh, nigga, how much? So, they're still deciding who they're gonna bring up, and Casey starts to speak up a lot this episode. And Casey's like, she feels like randomly. Initially, she says she feels like her and Joy's bag could have the money because they're kind of small, they're little, and she thinks that the mole might say, oh, they can't complete the mountain trek, so they're going to put the money in.
Which I think makes the most sense. Like, I can see them thinking, oh, the mole may try to trick us, but like, just go with your first mind. Like, of course they're going to put it in the weakest because the weakest just genuinely may not be able to finish.
And they did, didn't they? They literally did.
And they almost did it. That's the gag.
That's the gag.
Oh, you say they almost, they did put it
the mole did put it in the weakest 3 people, I believe.
And they almost didn't finish. So it's like...
He almost didn't finish. So Jacob says that it could be in his and Joy bag because the last mission, him and Joy flopped. But Jacob is the mole. So, and y'all, just brace yourselves. Everybody's gonna be the mole this episode.
Yeah.
Jacob is the mole. So that's why he said that. Cassie says
the only person, honestly, I don't think is the mole is Joy. Which is hilarious.
That's it. Honestly, that's it. And watch it be Joy.
Mother. I'll have to say it.
So Cassie says that half weak players and half strong players should go ahead, and like the middle players should stay behind. And she's saying that's her and Greg. And Cassie is the mole. So the reason she's saying this is because
her logic barely made sense either. Half strong players, half weak. Girl, what you saying?
Girl,
it was random, and then
because Will was
stay
saying
behind. And it's like,
because Will was saying the strong players are gonna have the money. Casey was saying the weak players are gonna have the money. So Cassie was like, how about all the weak and all the strong players just go, and then us middle players just
knowing at the end of this mission she had money is given she was just talking.
She was just
because Cassie is the motherfucking mole.
She is the mole. Greg says, I would love some alone time with Cassie, so I love this plan because he thinks Cassie is the mole because Cassie has been doing shady shit all season.
And he wants to watch her.
And now
that is a really interesting strategy, like watch her more to see, kind of know more about her
movements. Yes. So we find out that Greg and Cassie are going to have access to a radio so that they can radio to people and then they can ride them like a rodeo. They can radio to people while they're up on the mountain. So that's what they're doing while everybody else starts to climb the mountain. So the people climbing the mountain are Jacob, Joy, Casey, Avery, and Will initially. So they reach this designated point on the mountain. There's a bunch of helmets and there's a bunch of climbing gear that they have to put on, but there's only 4 helmets and 4 sets of climbing gear. So they found out already that they have to eliminate somebody.
And it's like, damn, like we're not even like they haven't even got it started, and they already taking someone out. Like the chances of them getting all that money out was very high.
By the soul, by the king body, money don't shine, we bling body. Stream already by Beyonce and others. So, so the money is we don't know who bag the money is in, but Will thinks the money is in his bag. So he says. So at this moment, he's like, I don't think I should be eliminated. And Avery was like, Will, it's giving you should be eliminated. It's giving the money's not in your bag. And Avery and Will kind of have like a back and forth. And Avery was like, well, let's just take a vote then. Let's take a vote. So she rings up Cassie and Greg, and she's like, hey, I mean, who are we all voting for to stop at this point? Because I feel like we should vote Will. And Will is like, I feel like that would be a bad move. I feel like the money's in my thing.
Will really doesn't have a strong argument as to why they should keep him in. Like, no one really thinks he has the money. It wouldn't make sense for him to have the money. He's the strongest one there. Why would you put money in the strongest person's bag?
And in that case, does that mean Avery probably isn't the mole because Will didn't have shit in his thing and she really wanted Will to go at this moment?
That's true. I just feel like there's no way. Like it's a low chance for Avery to be the mole just because of how much she talks about wanting to be the mole.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so
it makes me think. Also, Will could be the mole because he knew he didn't have them. Well, I know he's made the comment. Even if I don't have money, I want to be there at the end. So it's just like.
But he wanted Avery to go on the track too. So why did he want? But then again,
Avery had no money neither. If he was the mole, he knew Avery had money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying.
So Will tells him this was the dumbest thing ever, and that he should have kept going because he's a man and da 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 da.
Talking.
And Casey, as they decide this, everyone says their vote for Will. Will's the only one who doesn't say himself. And then Casey's like, "Well, wait. Maybe I should stay behind and I should just let Will go."
Out of nowhere. Like, we already decided the vote happened, girl. The trial had already spoken. Wait, Jess.
And now hindsight being 30-30, I believe Casey was just afraid of heights. I think Casey was just afraid. She didn't want to go on the track. She wanted to
at every turn, it gave,
and I'll
stay.
I feel like from the beginning, she should have just been like, y'all, I'm not going to lie, I'm scared as fuck. So I don't even know if I can finish it. So honestly, I'm just probably gonna have to stay. Like I just don't know if I can.
And it's like they would have been pissy fucking. They really thought she was the mole in because it's like you begged to stay,
and they would have been wrong, and she might have.
Ooh,
she could have gagged them. I don't know. She should have been playing big brain, and she wasn't. She was playing small.
Casey didn't give that. Casey gave very much. Like now that we know she's not confirmed the mole. What
was she doing? No shade.
Well, but also like she definitely wasn't here for a strategic game. Like she genuinely wanted to kind of get to know these people.
I will say she kind of did play like she wasn't bad at the challenges. There was not a challenge I was like, Casey, what the fuck are you doing? And then at the very, very beginning, I actually kind of liked Casey, but like episode 1. But so we're climbing up the mountain, and we get to stage 1. Stage 1 is they have a 400 meter vertical incline down that they have to climb downwards. Mind you, do these people know how to use the machines that they have to use? Like, it's a specific thing they got to do. Like, and when she fall.
And what she said was a track. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be this professional. Like the fact that they have professional gear randomly set up in this spot to help them. It's like, where are the I saw at the end challenge they had a person to help them. I didn't see much of that. I feel like it gave very much. They got to do this shit on their own.
Where's the helpers? Please.
Like, is this the mole or the challenge?
Please. So Joy drops down first, and after Joy drops down, Avery drops down, and this is when Casey is being suspicious again because Casey starts
jumping out.
Girl, Casey starts asking Jacob. She's like, "Do you think you have any money in your bag?" And he's like, "I mean, I don't know. I guess I could. I think I could. Me and Joy." And he's like, "Do you think you have any money?" And Casey's like, "Well, I don't know. I'm just not sure that I do. I just think you and Joy have
money."
Mind you,
she's supposed to be propelling down. And she's talking about some damn money.
Once she finishes, she finally starts propelling down.
Only after she finishes her conversation.
Only after she finished her long, good conversation. And then she starts to propel down. And then Avery says she wants to keep her eye on Jacob because, Avery thinks Jacob is the
girl, every dining room, every guy is about that.
It's like, she did this for over $2 being counted wrong. Like,
girl, she saw that money and she was over it. And then also not coming back with money with Joy in the car.
I just need more evidence for Jacob.
That's mainly Joy.
That's the thing. Like, and I feel like Avery should have knew that was Joy. And I feel like with the money thing, she should have knew that was an honest mistake. Like, I feel like Avery just reaching at straws, like when it comes to the Jacob thing. But
she's probably thinking, like, honestly, she's probably just thinking it has to be the person you least suspect. Honestly, I would say that Kind of. I think it's Will or Jacob. I can see us being Will.
But they just haven't lost them any money for real.
Jacob has. Jacob has lost them a lot of money. Like he hasn't been bringing any money. That's what Will hasn't been bringing any money as well.
That's true.
And it's very slick and sly with it.
That's true.
He fucks up a few challenges.
CITY with it. Okay. Stage 2. They get to stage 2 of the challenge, and this is when they have to start climbing upwards to the next section of the thing. So
very extra.
Very extra. So Avery and Joy start climbing upwards, and once they get to their designated place, they start calling Casey. Casey, go ahead, come up, girl. Y'all, Casey is down there giggling and kiki-kiing with Jacob, acting like she don't hear them, or I guess she doesn't hear them. Like, I'm confused.
But and then also, like, you know, going into this, like, it's okay. Casey definitely kind of giving more because we saw in the early episodes how when Greg told her to go get the other girls in the 2-room the sector challenge. Yeah. She went back there, started helping and kiki and laughing too. It's like, girl, hey Casey, pay attention. What's going on? We got to talk. We gotta go up.
Literally. So, finally, Will is, what's it called? What the fuck is it? Walkie-talkieing Avery and them. And he's like, Avery, what's going on? And Avery's like, I don't know, shit. We waiting for Casey. All we hear is her kiki. And he was like, I'm starting to notice some things about Casey, and it's giving mole. So if you can lay low without anyone accusing you for this long, then maybe that's mole behavior. Like, I don't know. It's giving Casey.
It's giving Casey. But I feel like Jacob has also been given that. No shade.
He has. So they finally get to the top because Casey finally wakes the fuck up and gets to the top. They keep walking, and they get to stage 3. Stage 3 is where they have to zing glide. What the fuck is it called? Zing glide? What is it called? Zing glide? Sling glide? Where they have to go crawl. What the fuck is that called?
I don't know.
They have to crawl. Zip line. Woo, they don't have to zip line. I'm wrong the whole time. They have to crawl across a gorge horizontally.
Yeah, that shit looks scary as hell. I know.
At this point, only 3 people can move along, so they have to vote one of the people out. Jacob says he feels like Avery should not go along. Avery was like, she feels like it should be Jacob. They start taking a vote because Casey says herself, and they're like, what the fuck? And so they start asking.
Casey wants to quit at every single round. It's like, Casey
the mole, please stop. So they finally start taking a vote from the other people. They ask Greg, Posse, and Will who they think, and all of them say Avery should stay behind and that the other 3 should go along to the finish line. So that means Joy, Jacob, and Casey will be the ones to finish if they can finish the task.
Yeah, and Will was like, because they was like, you know, Casey wants to quit, and he was like, no, Casey needs to stay. That's the reason why her and Joy went in the first damn place.
Literally. So Alex is at the finish line. She pulls up to the finish line with Greg and Cassie, and Will also pulls up with them too. And Joy has to go across the gorge first, and it's like, Joy, because she did not do that bad for her to be allegedly afraid of heights. She did okay.
Like, period, pilot woman.
So she did okay. She got across. Boom, Joy's across. Jacob starts crossing it. He starts eating it the fuck up.
Girl, like, he was running.
It was not giving Mo. So maybe it was giving Mo. I was gonna say it wasn't giving Mo, but maybe it was because he didn't have nothing in his bag.
And it's like, maybe he's like, your ass knew you didn't have nothing in that bag.
You can run across and make it seem like, I'm trying really hard. I'm not the mole.
When really he had brought no money
in. Very happily. That's why he was trying. So he was happy. Hey, I made it. So
with no money, we caught you.
So Casey starts crossing. And she doesn't start crossing.
Yeah, she doesn't start talking.
It's her turn, and the man who's supposed to be assisting them, who's not supposed to be on camera, she's talking to, so they have to show him on camera because she's sitting there talking to him.
She's like, it's windy. It's always this windy.
Like that? He said,
hey, Casey, we have 5 minutes.
Y'all, the man was
so windy. Yeah. Do you
the man was so confused that she was talking to him. He was like, I mean, it's windy during the winter. Like, he was not trying to talk to her.
Is this safe? Is it always like this? Oh my God, we're so high. Casey, we have 5 minutes left. Yeah, it's just so high.
And I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to do it either. I really wouldn't.
My thing is, I wonder, like, was that real? Like, was she really just sitting there talking to this man? Or like I'm hoping she was waiting for prep or something. Like, there's no way she was just sitting there talking to this man. Like, girl, we're in the middle of a challenge.
Talking to this man, chilling. She had to be. So
living her best life, bitch.
Here go Will again. He says he thinks Casey is the mole because what the fuck is she doing? So there's 2 minutes left. Casey is on the rope, struggling down. And Casey has a diary room, and she says, honestly, when I was on that thing, I just blacked out. And it's like, blacked out? Upside down?
Mind you. And they cut to her, and it's like, blackout, girl, you're still very much moving. Like, what's a blackout for
very
you?
awake. Like, what the fuck?
Very awake and aware.
So Casey finally makes it to the end of this challenge, and Casey, Joy, and Jacob are there with the 3 bags, and they start opening the bags up to see if the money is in fact in their bag. So Joy opens her bag, and we find out that Joy did have money in her bag. So they were right about Joy.
My thing is, y'all thought she was the weakest?
Try again. Jacob opens his bag. Jacob did not have any money in his bag.
And it's
if you recall, Jacob really, really wanted to go.
And like, I was kind of confused why he thought he probably would have money in his bag. I think the same logic applied to him that did to Will. But it's so, that's the thing. It's really interesting how they wouldn't let Will keep going. And then Jacob's like, I want to go, I'm going. And no one opposed it. It's like Jacob always kind of gets his little way too.
So Avery said it does not surprise her that Jacob didn't have shit in his bag because he is in fact her mole pick. So Casey opens her bag. She does have money in it. And it's like, girl, you might be giving mole because you really did not want to make it to the end of this shit.
At all.
Damn, at all. So at the end, they end up winning $20,000. They could have won $30,000, but they only win $20,000. And now we're going to check the other people's bag to see which other bag had the money in it. And we all checked our bag and we found out that Kasi had the money in her bag. And it's like, Kasi didn't even go on the trip. She was the one who was like, maybe just the strongest and the weakest should go. Kasi the mo. The fuck? So Greg said that's
like, and it's like one of her several mole moves over the season because she definitely spoke up very much. I'll just sit out. I'll do it. It's fine.
Greg said that is very suspicious, but their total prize pot right now is at $49,500, and that's a good amount. A good amount.
Yeah,
way more than they ever had.
They was in the 3,500s not too long ago.
So they're driving all the way home because, mind you, y'all, they have been in the mountains all day. So they're driving home. So by the time they get home, it's getting dark. It's dark outside, and they never get home. They pull up to this
the mole be playing in their fucking face. Mind you, she woke them up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
And y'all, they were so, like, on their faces, they were so annoyed. They were so annoyed. They were like, ugh. And they were getting out, and they were like literally looking like they was finna go off on Alex. They was like, are you for real right now? Like, are you for real? We just did a whole trek all day. So they get out very annoyed and tired. They pull up, they enter the room. It's cold. You see some bedding and some very, very, you see sleeping bags on this hard
girl, not even floor. Sleeping bag. It gave random mattresses like on a cold floor, bitch. It was very
It wasn't even mattress. It was like pieces of cloth. It was nothing. You saw nothing on the floor, and you saw a chain in the middle of the room, and you saw a box in the middle of the room, and it was cold as fuck, allegedly. So Alex lets them know, guys, your next mission is that you will be chained together, and possibly all night long. All night long.
And it's like, imagine being told that you're going to be chained in this cold warehouse after being woke up at 3 a.m. doing this hard ass trek. Like, I would quit.
I would have quit right there. So she tells them the rules. There's a cage in the middle of the room, and every 10 minutes that cage will open up. Inside the cage, there is a key. So one at a time, the player that is designated and chosen by you guys will choose the order, will take the key, and they can decide to unlock themselves. The task is easy. All you guys have to do is all unlock yourselves at the 10-minute intervals when the cage opens. And if you do that, you will win $20,000. However, inside the cage is an exemption. The player who chooses to take this exemption will not only not win the $20,000, but they will also leave every other player still chained there for the rest of the night. So they have to choose their order wisely. So Avery and Jacob immediately say to everybody, it's dumb as fuck if you take exemption. You should not take this exemption.
Everyone was like, no exemption. This is some easy money.
Casey does have a diary room, and she says, I want that exemption in the diary. She does say that. So after this, Avery says trustworthy people need to go first. And Will says, I don't trust none of y'all. So Jacob's like, so Will's like, I just feel like it should be me who goes first. I'm the most trustworthy. And they just kind of laugh it off because it's like no one really trusts each other. Jacob says, I vote for Will. Will says he votes for Jacob. But Joy, Casey, and Avery all vote for Kasi to be the one who goes first. Greg chooses not to vote. Greg says, if he's right about the mole, he needs to keep his suspicions quiet. He doesn't need to let nobody know that he believes Kasi is the mole. So we finally get to the 10-minute interval. The key is locked. The cage is opened up, and Kasi is the first person to go get her key. So she walks up. They
Mind you, she was voted because she was the most trustworthy.
The most trustworthy girl. She walks up to the cage. She sees that the key and the exemption card is there. She slowly takes the key. She slowly unlocks themselves. Everyone is like, thank you so much, Kasi. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Yes.
Kasi.
Yes, Kasi.
Yes, Kasi.
Yes.
So she unlocks herself.
Yes. Oh, we can do this, guys. Mm-hmm. Easy money. Yeah.
She unlocks herself. She stands up. She waits for a minute. They're like, they're all scared. They're moving.
And then I didn't think it would stay open like that once she put the key in. I was like, oh, it's still open.
She put the key in. It was still open. She reached back in. She grabbed the exemption card. Joy gasps for air.
Yo, why did Joy scream like that?
So she reaches for the exemption card. And Joy gags. And everybody gags.
Kasi.
So that's where episode 6 ended. Episode 7 started at the same point.
Why did Kasi the mole gag them like this? Mind you, y'all. Because if you grab the exemption, you're the only person. She's the only person that can go to the hotel. Everyone has to stay there. Mm-hmm. She did no work today because she set out first. So not only did she not do shit all day, she stole the exemption and made them bitches sleep in the cold. But it's like, my thing is, why? Like, she was the first person, I will say. She didn't volunteer to be first. Because when they was voting her, she was looking around like, I mean, okay. Mind you, it's funny, right? Mm-hmm. So we come into episode 7. Joy screaming again. Kasi turns around, takes it, looks at them, smirks, and walked the fuck out.
She didn't say one word.
I know. Kasi was getting called all type of bitches and I know all they was dogging Kasi out, bitch.
All night. Loki, I mean, in this moment, she deserved it. Like, I don't know. Like,
nah, I would have been mad. I would have been mad.
Oh, girl, we were woken up in the middle of the night. We just had to go on the trek that you opted out of going on. I climbed the mountain. After I climbed the mountain, I had to get in the car, stay in the car all the way until we got to this cold ass room. I don't have no blankets. I'm not wearing appropriate manner. I haven't showered. My butt stink. And now I got to sleep here all night because of you?
Because you want to take the first exemption. So do you do you think that someone else definitely would have taken it? Like,
Casey had a DR and said she was going to take it.
She did? I don't remember. I didn't write that down.
I wrote it down.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
But I don't know. I think somebody was going to take it. I would have took it. I'm not going to lie. It's top 7.
Honestly,
it's top 7.
You're right. You're right. Because it's like, in my mind, the only thing that's so nasty about her taking it is because like she was the first person. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, she didn't actually be the first person.
She also didn't volunteer.
Because like if I was person number 3, I'd be a little bit more tempted. Like person number, like even if I wanted to take it, I feel like if I was voted most trustworthy and went there first, I would feel bad. Mm-hmm. I would just.
She said that's why she didn't say nothing to them because she felt bad. She just smirked. But why smirk?
I guess it was just a
accidentally.
Yeah. It definitely gave. I don't give a fuck about none of you bitches, and they were so shocked. Joy said she wants to wring her neck. She said she would never leave someone in the cold for an exemption, and it's like, Mama, that's hard to believe because you bet 25 fucking thousand on a goddamn exemption. I'd rather be left in the cold than have my majority of my money be taken away. No shade, Joy.
So Casey says that what Kasi did was just so mole-like that she kind of thinks that she's not the mole now. Like now she doesn't think she's the mole because that was just so moley of her.
Mm-hmm.
And Avery was like, Kasi can't be trusted. And Casey was like, I mean, and Avery was like, you trust her after this? And she was like, I just don't know how I feel.
Avery was pretty gay because I feel like she thought she had like a friendship with Kasi. She was like, I just not think that Kasi would do that to me. And then we get a diary room for Queen Kasi herself. And she's just, I mean, I'm not sorry. And I don't regret it.
Gag them real quick.
You can at least be sorry, Kasi, now.
Gag order. We out of order. So the next day, Kasi is drinking her coffee.
Mm-hmm.
He's snuggled up on the couch
in her hotel.
In her hotel room.
Very
lobby couch.
Cozy, comfortable in her skin.
And everyone starts walking in. She's like, how was y'all's night?
No. She said, good morning. But here's the crazy thing about the mole, because they all, most of them have done like some fucked up shit. I don't know how they be having the capacity to speak to them. There's no way in hell I'm having a conversation with Kasi. Like, no way in hell I can speak to Kasi after this. Like,
not in an acceptable manner. I would have had to slightly cuss that bitch out. Like, they are very, very sweet and kind, because it would have been nasty had that been me. Like, I would have walked in the hotel. Kasi would have been like, good morning. And I would have been like, girl, don't play with me. Please don't say that. No, just actually, you should leave right now. Like, why are you here?
Good morning after we slept in the...
I bet it's a good morning for you. To you, Kasi. So she does get grilled a little bit. She does get grilled because
Joy presses the fuck out of Kasi.
No, but I do have a question, Kasi. Why did you just leave and walk out and not say anything? You didn't apologize? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, because that's the one thing. Joy took their money, but she said, I'm sorry, and we'll get it back. Kasi took that card and dipped.
Girl. So Kasi says, and the way Kasi talks, like, is low-key, it would low-key piss me off more. Because
she's very calm and collected about it.
She's holding her cup, her legs are crossed, holding her cup, and she says, well, I just don't believe that money would have gotten one regardless.
If I didn't take it, someone would have.
If I didn't take the exemption, someone would have took the exemption. And that would have pissed me off.
That would have pissed me off. In a fucking call.
Because why are you talking to me? Like, I would have asked her a question and then got mad at her answering the question. Like, please stop talking to me.
I had to walk away. Okay, Miss Kasi.
I would have to get up. So
outside looking in, she really ate them bitches up.
It not being me,
because the fact that she was voted the most trusted, like they were all like putting their game in her hands, and she snatched it from them. It was real nasty. Another one of her several mole behaviors. That's 2 in the episode.
In the same episode.
Well, I guess it was. No, it was the same episode. And they just continued to the next one because she do more in this episode too.
Girl, Kasi ain't never knocked the mole. That's the thing. Name an episode Kasi didn't have. Like,
Kasi or Joy. Kasi or Joy, to be honest. One thing about Kasi and Joy, they have some chaotic ass queens. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Joy is the mole. But at this point, after here's the thing about me. Because at this time, if I were in the game, I have my suspicions on Kasi. I would not think it's Joy. I just would not think it's Avery. I would not think it's Greg. And it would be like around Kasi, Jacob, or Will. After Kasi did this, I would be so conflicted because I'd be like, would the mole do something this obvious? This is just so obvious. You know what I mean? So I really would be conflicted. But Kasi is still so like mischievous in a way. I would be like, it does give it still. Because I think this would just be too bold of a move for the mole. Because isn't the mole supposed to be inconspicuous?
Yeah, because I think the mole could win the game if the players don't guess you're the mole. But if I end up in... That's the thing. Kasi has done so much that if I end up in Final 3, I'm voting Kasi as a mole. I don't know what to tell you. Because how did you make it to Final 3? You have not been... Like, be for real. Like, you haven't been doing nothing good. So no way Kasi could have made it to Final 3. So if she's in Final 3, I'm going to assume she's a mole. And if I lose, hey, I lose. But dang, but that's not her. That's the thing. If she's the mole, she needs to be hiding it better. Which is why it's
100%.
probably Will.
Or Jacob.
Or Jacob. So we get to the quiz. We get to the quiz. Greg says that one wrong answer can determine everything in this quiz. You got to be very, very careful now. It's only 6 people playing. It's top 7. It's only 6 people taking the quiz. Top 7. We got to be right. Will says Casey continuously takes the back seat. She's never seen as a suspect, and that's a great place that the mole could be. So we can kind of assume that Will will be kind of putting Casey as his answers. Greg says he's suspicious of Cassie. You can assume Greg is going to be putting Cassie as his answers. Will says he's also suspicious of Cassie, but more suspicious of Casey. Casey says Jacob is her biggest suspect.
Which is interesting because Avery also has been saying that it's Jacob. But then
but Avery dices up her answers.
We literally have a diary room after Casey says this, that Avery saying that she feels like it is Jacob, but she divvies up her answer among the group so she won't lose. So that's really interesting because it's like it throws some guessing on whether Jacob is or is not the mole.
And Jacob says he thinks the mole might be Casey. So we get our quiz results. We see that Greg is safe. We see that Jacob is safe. When Jacob is counted as safe, Avery says good, because I think he's the mole. And then we see Casey. And Casey is not safe. She's out. Now, I had thought Casey was the mole. Up until this episode, I was like, Casey's the mole. And then this episode, I was like, she's just being too obvious. So I was like, maybe she's not, and now she's home. Now, what's interesting about this is that if Casey's not the mole, she got out. Will and Jacob both said that they were voting Casey. So it's like, Casey's not the mole, so y'all have to be voting terribly wrong. And Casey had to be voting even more wrong than them, and she was voting Jacob. Now, I saw a theory that said, if the mole is a girl, this would explain this. Because even though Will and Jacob were wrong, they were assuming it's a girl, Casey. Casey was wrong, but assuming it's a boy, Jacob. So they were saying maybe the mole is a girl because every time someone is assuming it's a boy, they end up going home, even though Will and Jacob literally just voted Casey, and she was not the mole. So the concept is that maybe the mole is one of the
at this point, I was like, we ain't gonna be able to decipher it. Like, it's so all over the place. Like, it really is just guessing. And imagine how hard.
Imagine playing the game. Like, oh. So we move. So Casey gets her walk of shame. She's out. So now they are going to Sydney off.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney,
P. Sherman,
Not P. Sherman,
we are in the final 6. And Will says if he can, since Casey went home, if he can figure out which one of the answers were, because he has multiple people in his mind when he's answering. He's saying, if he can figure out which of those people helped me stay in the game over Casey, then he can figure out kind of who is the mole. So Joy says she cannot trust Jacob. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to throw people off, and she won't let him take one more dime out of the pot.
What's hilarious is that she does not think he's the mole.
She does not.
She just thinks he's a shady ass bitch, and she will call it out.
So
Joy is hilarious.
They pull up to a warehouse, and we see Alex sitting very, very variously as they walk in. And it's like, why is Alex sitting like that? But they pull up, and Alex turns around all mysteriously, like she is a superhero, and she says, "Today, in the mole, you have to play this game by being able to decipher what's real and what's fake. So today, we will be doing exactly that. There are 2 paintings plastered on this wall. One of them is a what's it called when it's priceless? Oh, a priceless piece of artwork. And the other one is a dud. It is your job.
Created by the mole.
Created by the mole. It is your job to decipher which one is individually. Choose which one you believe is the fake and which one you think is the real. So this is when everyone starts kind of talking out loud about how they feel about the 2 paintings. One painting is like a blob of paint. It's not a blob of paint. It's like someone got a paintbrush and just threw it in different colors on the damn canvas. The other is a stop sign. It looks like it was spray painted. Spray painted on, and it's a stop sign. It says stop. It has red, very bland. The other one is kind of colorful and splattery. And they had to decide which one they felt was fake, which one they felt was real.
If you decide that the one that you guessed correctly, if you guessed the which one correctly, then you have a chance to play for an exemption.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a pretty big guess. Now, when I was looking at it, I felt like the left one could have been fake because the left one was like the little splatter. I feel like you see that design everywhere. I feel like it's a good chance that wouldn't just be priceless art in a gallery because I've seen that on fucking bouncy balls. I've seen that on composition notebooks. I've seen that on clothes. Like that. I feel like that splattery design is everywhere. I saw the stop one as something could be seen as modern, new age. You know what I mean? Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Abstract. Like, I was trying to big brain it. I really was. And I failed miserably because I would have chose right. And I would have been wrong.
I didn't have many thoughts. I was just a guess. My idea was like, okay, whichever one seems more artistic is probably the one that's less artistic. And that's probably the real one. So I would have thought the stop sign was the real one. And that the splatter was a fake one, so I probably would have got it wrong too. So, this is when we find out that everyone does their guesses. Jacob, Avery, and Joy say that the stop sign is fake. Greg, Kasi, and Will say that the splatter is fake. So, we find out that Kasi, Will, and Greg were wrong, and Jacob, Joy, and Avery were right. So, they will be able to get a chance at exemption. So, the chance at exemption is going to be 2 truths and a lie. If the 3 people with the chance can convince the other 3 people who do not have the chance, that one of them, how does 2 truths and a lie work? If they can fake these bitches out and confuse them with their 2 truths and a lie and have them answer wrong, then they will win $20,000 for the pot, and then no one will be exempt. However, if Avery, Joy, and Jacob can accurately make them choose the wrong person as the liar, then they will win the chance. No, all 3 of them will be exempt.
Well, I think you explained that weirdly. So Will, Greg, and Kasi are the interrogators, and they have to listen to Jacob, Joy, and Avery be the 2 truth and 1 lie. Essentially, 2 of them will be telling the truth, and 1 of them will be telling the lie. If the interrogators, Will, Greg, and Kasi, are able to identify the lie, then they add $20K to the pot, and no one will be exempt. If they can't identify the lie, then Joy, Jacob, and Avery will win exemption.
Okay, that was good. I didn't know how to explain the identify the lie part. I was like, what do they have to do again? They have to do which one is what? But it was confusing watching it too. No shade.
Yeah, they just. I will say these tasks are pretty interesting, but sometimes they be explaining them, and I'm like, "What, Alex?
What Alex?"
Because the way Alex be describing shit too, she just be trying to do anticipation. So she's like, "So, 3 of you have a chance to play for exemption, and the other 3 will be the interrogators." The interrogators, and it's like, no. Like, get it out, babe.
So, yes. What's happening though is that Avery, Joy, and Jacob will all have a series of events happen to them tonight, and those are the series of events that they have to use to tell this truth/lie that they are going to.
And you know, Joy is ready because Mother is always in position to get an exemption. I know that's right. Every time there's an exemption on the table, Joy is in play. Okay.
So the next day, they wake up. Kasi, Will, and Greg are waiting for their stories to be told to them. And as they're waiting, they're kind of deciding how are they going to interrogate. And Kasi's like, she wants to ask them a detailed question and then ask them that same question again because she wants to make sure if they can tell the lie twice. Because if they can't tell the lie twice, then they're lying, and then that's how I can clock them. Greg is like, I want to start off with this good cop, and then I want to turn into a bad cop, and da 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 da. And it's like, really, they don't even do none of that shit.
They really don't. They kind of just like bombard them with questions.
Literally.
I thought it was really interesting how they did it though, because it's like they're doing 2 truths and 1 lie. But I didn't realize until this point that, like, physically they represent 2 truths, Joy and Avery, and then Jacob was a lie.
The 1 lie. I wonder if they got to decide who was going to be the liar, because Jacob literally went home and did nothing. But I guess they had to decide that Jacob was the one who was going to lie about what he did. And it's like, why did y'all decide Jacob to lie when Joy is a better liar than Jacob? Like, I wanted to, unless they just forced it to be Jacob. Like,
maybe it was random.
Yeah. There's no way Jacob is the best liar here. Like, what the fuck? So, Will says it's gonna be easy to spot who the mole is this round because it's only 6 of us and it's kind of a one-on-one situation.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So Jacob tells his story first. He walks in and they're like, well, Jacob. First of all, what they ask him, right when he walked in, they were like being very, very, I guess, funny about the situation.
I think Greg was like, oh, did you shower? You look
yeah, you look good. And they're like, so Jacob, tell us what happened. What did you do? And he says, well, when I left the art gallery, I was blindfolded. And they took me to this building. And right when you walk in the building, there was a table in the middle of it. And there was a chair. And on that table was one of those silver platter things. What do you call those? One of those silver platter things. And it had the lid on top. Mm-hmm. So I walked up to it and I took the lid off. And there was a brown caterpillar.
Just saying thing, shit.
And it was big. And I had to pick it up. Oh, and a waiter brought it to me. What was the waiter wearing? He had a black on and a white apron. And I had to bite the head off and then throw the body down on the floor or whatever the fuck. And yeah. Child. So they start clocking the fuck. Will says, what does Will clock him with real quick? Damn, I forgot what he said. Because Jacob says something along the lines of, the tail was here, or I bit the head off, and then I put it in my left hand or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Will was like, I thought you said earlier that no. He said, and it was disgusting. And Will was like, you said it was good earlier, though.
Yeah. It wasn't
that bad. And Jacob was like,
Will kept coming in with them questions like, but you said, trying to throw him off.
And so Jacob, it looked like Jacob slipped up because Jacob had said it was nasty, and then Will said, you said it was good. And he was like, whoop. And so Jacob finished his story. He walks out, and they're like, "Girl, he was lying." They kind of all just feel like he was like low-key lying. They're like, it wasn't giving the truth.
The story just wasn't clear enough. Like he was just saying random ass shit, especially compared to when Joy and Avery goes.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, he had all night to think of it. I feel like he should have thought of something less outlandish, but not outlandish to get caught. Like he should have. I would have been like, there was a clear box, and I had to stick my hand in it, and there was tarantulas in it or something. Like something that's possible. I don't fucking know. What you mean a big fat caterpillar? What are you talking about?
Just talking.
Like, is that even a real thing?
So literally, it was giving, he wanted, or it's giving he didn't want to win this mission for them. Well, mole
behavior. So Joy tells her story next. Joy says, I came into the room. And I walked down the hallway, and they told me to put my hands out like this. And when I put my hands out like this, they placed a giant cobra on my neck. It was crawling in my hair. It was on my face. It was all over me. And they were like, what side was the head in? She said, my right hand. And then she was like, so the head was in my left hand. They said, was your head in your left hand or your right hand? The head was in my right hand. The tail was in my left hand. And yes, the right hand had that head, and the left hand had my tail. And when she finishes her story, she leaves. Greg's like, I believe her. And Greg this whole time
was like, what? The mole, Cosby the mole.
Greg this whole time, by the way, has been like, this is what I'm here for. Like this
is my job.
For me. Like I need to make sure that I'm getting my opinion across because I know I can win this competition.
And Will believed her too. Will was like, I know Joy.
Pretty impressive. Yes, I know Joy. So Will believed her and Greg believed her. But this one, they started doing, not yet. So Avery goes next. And I'm not gonna lie, Avery did seem like she was lying to me. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, she just talks like a liar.
But that's basically what she said though. Like she people can't tell if I'm lying or telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. So Avery walks in and she says that she was blindfolded. And once she got unblindfolded, she had to walk on hot ass fire rocks on her bare feet, coal that was on fire with her bare feet. Will was like, as soon as Avery opens her mouth, she just sounds like she's lying. Like Everything she said sounded like he lying.
Because she said it in such a. I took my shoes off and I just walked over this coal, and it was the greatest experience of my life. You know, it was real quick, and it's just like you just never know. And then she looks at them with a smile,
smiling at them. And Greg is like, "Can you take your shoes off?" And like she ate the response up if she was trying to make it seem like she was lying, because she was like, I'm just not gonna take my shoes off in the middle of the.
I think she was actually like confused. That's the guy. Like with Joy, with the things. I think she actually got confused. She was like, "I'm not taking my shoes off, bitch. What the fuck?"
Literally. So
why would you take your shoes off?
Literally. Wait, she's like, I have a mark on my foot. I have a little mark on my foot.
But you say you didn't get burned. I don't have. That what Will said. Will was like, I don't say you didn't get burned, but you had a mark. She's like, I have a mark, but it's not a burn. And it's just like, what is this? The semantics of this.
Literally. So she leaves. So the three interrogators have to deliberate. And they're like, who do we think is the liar? And Greg is like, it has to be Jacob. And Cassie was like, I don't know. I just feel like
Cassie the Mo.
She's like, I just feel like Avery was lying. And Greg was like, I really need Will to be on my side about this, because Cassie just be saying anything. And it's like, you just be saying
Cassie
anything.
and like I said, it really, she's never beaten the Mo allegations, because this is the third time in this podcast alone where she has actively made a move. So far. Not even overall in the season, in this podcast so far, that she has actively made a move that is against what is actually what they need to do. And then there's more. So,
and that's the thing.
Like Joy tightened up a little bit. Joy really tightened up. Cassie, when you really think about her track record, been fucking up since the beginning, no shade.
If she's not the mole, she's so
what the
bad.
What the hell has my sister been doing?
She's so bad at the game, and I guess she's not that bad. She's in top 6.
Yeah, she's clearly passing that quiz.
She's good at the quiz, and I guess that's all that matters. But
but that's the thing too. Like, it's interesting because we don't see much of who she thinks it is either. Like we know she's mentioned that she's suspicious of Joy, but we don't get a lot of.
It's been Joy.
I know it's this person, or I know it may be this person. So it's like you're not definitively saying it's anyone.
It's you.
And I don't think it's Joy. And it's like, the only why she thinks it's Joy because Joy be doing obvious ass shit. But it's like, Cassie, baby.
Think harder. She's supposed to be the thinker.
No, but my thing is Cassie be doing more, if not worse shit than Joy. It's like you can't say Joy's the most of the shit she be doing. And look at the fuck you be doing.
Cassie is so bad. So bad. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just so sorry. So Alex asked them, okay, who is going to be y'all votes for who is the liar? Greg votes for Jacob, Cassie votes for Avery, and then it goes down to Will, and then Will ends up voting for Jacob. He says he doesn't think he has a diary. He says, I don't think Jacob is the mole. I just think Jacob is useless as hell. And it's like, damn. And it's like, this is the second person who said this shit. They don't think Jacob's the mole. They just think he's a bum ass bitch. And it's like, damn.
Will really got beef with Jacob. Like, he does not like that man. I love White on White Prom.
Ever since the train, Will has been shit on. White brethren. I know that's right. So the other 3 players come into the room, and Alex is like, okay, y'all need to tell y'all truth for real now. So basically, they end up telling the truth. Jacob didn't do shit. He just went to the hotel and slept. So that means they did win $20,000. So they are now at $69,500. So it's like per. And Greg says he's still suspicious of Jacob a little bit because he could just be pretending to be that bad of a liar, instead of actually being a bad liar. So this is when we get to the quiz. They all are taking this quiz because no one won exemption. And at the quiz, they're having a little dinner or whatever. And at the dinner table, Joy says they should have won exemption, but she doesn't think Jacob cared to win. She says, I'm going to call Jacob out tonight. I am, because I don't think he's the mole, but I do think I don't know what the fuck game he's playing, so I will call him out.
I don't know how you don't like her. Like, this is a chaotic crack queen, and I have to stand. Mind you, she does not think he's the mole
at all.
So she just wants to call him out. Doing this shit.
She wants to call him out. So Alex says, when they get to the table,
Alex is so fucking messy because they knew Joy wanted to call him out, because the way it was all sitting down, it was like, how's everyone doing? And then Joy made the slightest discomfort face, and here go Alex. Joy,
Joy,
did you wanna say something? Like Alex is messy as hell.
So Joy says, "Yeah, I do want to say something. Jacob screws up all the time, and no one points the finger at you, but I will. I'm
calling a spade a spade.
I'm calling a spade a spade. I think you're the mole. You're the shithole mole.
Mind you, she does not.
Mind you, she doesn't. She says, I think you're the shithole mole and that you've been doing all of this stuff to fuck us up and you've been messing up. You haven't won any money. I don't see any money that's in the pot that's with your name.
Mind you, the table kind of gagged because Will Low-key's agree. Greg Low-key's agree. And does that send someone home? No shade. Strategic Queen Joy.
I don't know. So we get to episode 8.
Yeah, the episode ends with her calling him the shithole mole.
I know that's right.
Why I gotta be the shithole mole? I just think you're the shithole mole.
So we get to episode 8. Jacob is like, that's a lot of last minute finger pointing. It sounds like somebody's trying to cover up who they are.
Girl, and my thing is, Joy really is not. That's the thing. Joy is this chaotic queen, but Joy is not good at no argument. Because when Avery pressed her a while back, it was crickets. Like she's not good in the one-on-one confrontation. So Jacob kind of spot back on that ass real nasty. Like I was getting kind of offended. Like he really.
Jacob was like, "You lost the most money of us. Like, sure, you brought it back."
He said, "Joy." He said Joy has been the bottom of the barrel and caused so much money loss. The shit on the bottom of the shoe. I said, oh, yeah, Joy should have cut his ass out.
He was like, wow, I just want to know what your game has been. Avery has a diary room. She says the game is getting ugly, so I'm just trying to take a step back or whatever. Joy says, Greg brings in money. She says, Greg brings in money. Will brings in money. Jacob, you don't bring in nothing.
I just brought in $15K, babe. Where did you bring in?
And Greg had a diary room. He said, I mean, Joy's right. Like, Jacob isn't bringing in any money. I don't know. Jacob really isn't doing anything. And Avery says that it's smart to call people out and pretend you think they're the mole and not actually think you're the mole.
So like, Avery clocked my mother.
She clocked mother.
But the other girls did not.
They did not. So we get to the quiz. Joy thinks it's Will, but she wants other people to think it's Jacob. Will thinks it might be Avery. Cassie thinks Joy was loud at the table, so it could be a diverging factor, so it might be Joy. Avery says there's always questions on the quiz that you got to just guess on. And I was like, damn, what you got to guess on some of the questions? And she says she's going to split between Joy and Jacob. Greg says that he wasn't confident it was Cassie, but now Jacob is on his radar. And Jacob says Joy's gameplay is confusing, so he feels like it's going to be Joy. When we get to the results, we see that Greg is out of the game.
Yeah, and I was really gagged. But this intrigues me because he was definitely voting Jacob. We know Avery has been splitting among Jacob. Casey just went home and she assuming, and when she said that she thinks Jacob could be it. So it's just like, it makes you think maybe it's not Jacob, and Avery has been saving herself by not voting him. It's just, you never really know.
And they said, and this is why they said they feel like, my friend said they feel like it might be Avery as the mole because she's telling the audience she's voting Jacob, but if she's been doing Jacob all these rounds, why is everyone else who does Jacob going home, but you're still here?
But I think that's why I noticed how after Casey said only Jacob, they switched to Avery saying, I think it's Jacob, but I mixed my vote. So I think that could be the thing that's a saving grace. Like I said, if Avery is the mole at the end of this, I'm not, the series is great, so I'm not going to be mad, but it's just like, Avery the mole? Like, that was just so obvious. Like,
but was it? Because you don't know if it's her. You don't even think it's her.
I just feel like someone who's been telling us that they're doing things to be the mole. It's like the only reason why I didn't suspect her is because she's been telling us. And it's like, the thing is, she's only telling us that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I guess she is doing things to make herself look like the mole, and it could be her actually being the mole. But it's just like, why play the mind games with us, Netflix? I'm not in the goddamn game.
So, Greg is out. Greg does his little walk of shame.
And I'm like, bro, like, talk about big personalities just out. Dom Pranav. Now, Greg. Girl. Like,
the cast was just eating, though, because whoever went home, I was low-key gagged. I'm not going to lie. I've been gagged
every single time. Like, every single time. And it just shows how random it is. And I think this would make the show interesting because no matter how big of a personality you is, no matter how many connections you have, no matter how good it looks like you're doing, if you don't pass that quiz, it's over.
It's over. I love how random the eliminations are, kind of. I love that it's kind of not based, because I'm so used to eliminations being based on social connections and strategy and stuff. I kind of like that it's just based on if you did good at the quiz, because it's like, oh, like, this could just be anybody. So,
literally, and it has been literally anybody.
Anybody. So Greg walks out, and Joy says, I masterminded the fuck out of that, because I was strategically placing people where I wanted them to be, and I wanted Greg to feel like it was Jacob and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like,
so far, Avery and Joy have sent people home. Strategic Queens, All-Stars, methinks.
It's giving All-Stars. It's giving All-Stars. Honestly, like, of the people this season, Avery and Joy have been the standout ones for me. Honestly.
100%.
Especially of the ones left. Like, Avery and Joy have definitely been standout.
I like Cassie too, but Cassie gives me mole.
It is. She's the mole. She come back as the mole again. Or she come back as a regular player. Finally. So, they're staying in Sydney because it's the biggest city in Australia.
Period. P742
and they're going to be playing a game of hide and seek for this next challenge. Love that. I was very excited.
I was gagged.
So, Joy and Jacob like walk in the room. Joy's ahead of Jacob. And so when Joy walks in, Will says, hi, Joy. And when Jacob walks in, Will's like, ugh. And it's like, damn.
Will really hates this man. Like, what did Jacob do to Will for real? Like,
literally,
it's a disgust. Like, the way he speaks about him in the dining room, I know Jacob at home, like, damn, what the fuck? Like, we had beef like this? And you can tell because, like, Will makes a lot of jokes at Jacob that I think Jacob takes his jokes and says back, but I think Will be dead ass serious.
Will be so dead ass.
Will was saying Jacob's face, yeah, he's a dumb country bumpkin, and Jacob would be like, oh, you're a dumber country bumpkin, and it's like, no,
bitch, it was for real, and you thought this was a gag.
Like, not a joke.
He's insulting you, and you're laughing.
Very much so. Please wake up, but maybe he's the mole. He doesn't care. He's getting the last laugh.
So Alex says y'all need to pick the person who is the most observant, and Joy volunteers herself, and Will was like, people who volunteer probably doesn't need to do it.
Mind you, knowing what this challenge was, if Joy was in that damn birdcage, they was not getting this completed. I mean, they did anyway, but they definitely wouldn't do it, Joy. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it was not given. It needed to be Joy at all. So Jacob says he feels like it should be Avery. He feels like Avery would be good at that. And Joy was like, why not me? Why wouldn't I be good at it?
Joy, you know damn well.
And Will was like, I feel like we should go with the most trustworthy person, and that's myself. And they're like, please stop. Like, please. So,
Will always, best thing, Will always want to be at the point of contingent. Like, he always wants to be the head person in charge. And it's like, that can easily just be his personality. Or is that nigga the mole?
Or is he the mole? So they take a vote. Will votes for Cassie. Cassie votes for Will. Avery votes for Jacob. And she says she votes for Jacob because she didn't want to give nobody else 2 votes because she wanted to do it. And everybody else, and the other 2 people voted for Avery to go ahead and be the, what's it called? The person who was the most critical.
Observant.
Yeah. So the most observant. So Avery's the most observant. There's $10,000 on the line. So Avery's going to leave. And then they're going to pair up, and they have to find Avery in these 2 different pairs. So Joy says, even though she feels like Will is the mole, she wants to keep an open mind and try to pair up with someone who she doesn't usually pair up with. So that's why Joy ends up pairing with Cassie, and Jacob and Will end up pairing up. And Jacob and Will say they haven't actually done a challenge together really in this way, so they're excited for that. So, boom. Avery is locked up in a jail cage, in a
bird cage,
a bird cage, jail cage, and the 2 teams have to go run to their taxis. So they run to their taxis, and we go with Joy and Cassie. So Joy and Cassie will start at the highest point in Australia. Oh, Sydney. They will use their binoculars to find clues to get their to use their key.
Mind you, this is the biggest city in Australia, Mike. So it's just like. I would have been already like, this is not getting done, but we moved
So they enter this tall ass building. They go to the tippity top of the roof. And me, I'm scared of heights, so I would have been scared as fuck. But they go to the top of the roof and they use their binoculars and they start looking for stuff. But really, they're waiting for Avery to call them because Avery has a phone and they got a phone. But we wait, child. So we flash over to Will and Jacob. Will and Jacob are in their taxi and they are going to start off at a pizzeria. So they have to figure out why the pizzeria is connected to Avery and what they can do to get to Avery using this pizzeria. And they also have a key to unlock her. So when they pull up to the pizzeria, they walk in and they immediately ask the cashier, you know where Avery? And she's like, I don't know who that hoe is. She says, I don't know who that is.
Never heard of her. Jimmy?
Never heard of her. So she was confused and we flash back to Avery. So Avery's locked in a bird cage. She has a newspaper with a pigeon on it. It has a bunch of words on that newspaper. There's a pizza box randomly in her cage. There's bird food and shit in her cage. So first she calls Joy and Kasi. And Avery, she reads this entire pigeon flyer to them. And she's like, there's pigeons flying literally above me. So if y'all see some pigeons, that's where y'all need to be looking for. So Joy and Kasi are using their binoculars and they're trying to see if they see some pigeons. And they do. And Kasi's like, girl.
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's no way in hell I thought those were the pigeons they were supposed to find.
No, literally,
like, there's pigeons flying above me, and they saw pigeons very close,
like right there. Like, I was like, that's not where Avery's at. Like,
right? I was like, Avery's not over there, and they was like, we gotta go over there. I'm like, do y'all? But I guess they were planted by the producers. Like, the person was supposed to be there to get attention, but it's like, okay, we here. I don't think I would have saw that shit, but we.
I don't think I would have thought to go to those pigeons. I think I would have been looking like she's not
over there. She has to be like somewhere else.
I would have lost us a challenge, goddamn. Wow. So Kasi, I was almost said dumbass, but Kasi ass was like, I mean, we should just keep looking. Like, you're sure? Let's keep looking. And Joy was like, come on, Kasi,
she won't give Joy the binoculars.
Girl.
She's like, I don't think that's it. More mole behavior from Miss Kasi.
More mole behavior. It's just over and over again. Like, please be the mole, because otherwise.
And it's like, how you becoming a bigger mole than Joy?
Otherwise, if she's not the mole, that's gonna be just so crazy. So, girl, Avery calls the other group, which is Will and Jacob. She tells Will and Jacob she's in the pigeon coop and she has a pizza box. So they ask the cashier for the order that she sees on the pizza box. So they ask for that order, and the cashier is like, it's not giving that this is what y'all need to do. She's like, I can't do that.
It's funny because it's really like non-playable characters in a game. Like they kind of just like,
yeah, literally.
You can't go here.
So Jacob walks out he walks outside to the delivery driver that he sees sitting outside, and he's like, hey, I mean, have you ever delivered to this place? And the delivery's like,
I don't, no, I can't, no. Like, okay.
Will has a diary room, and he feels like Jacob just goes so slow. Every mission he has no urgency whatsoever. But Jacob sees a pizza box, and on the pizza box, he sees a phone number. He's like, we should just have Avery call this number and order the pizza, and then we can follow the delivery driver. So he tells Avery, hey, girl, call this number that's on the box. And she's like, oh, girl, that's not a number on the pizza box. Bye, I have to call the other group.
Which seems suspicious as well, because it's like, but also I would like thinking, because they get mad with Avery later on for not seeing the numbers, but at the same time, tell her the numbers. I would be like, oh, I can give you the numbers.
I was thinking that too.
You better get to remembering.
I was wondering if they weren't allowed to, because it didn't make sense for them to not just give her the numbers, honestly. That's how I felt. I was like, maybe
she dipped pretty quickly. She was like, oh, y'all can't help me. I have to change. Because she was reading the pigeon paper, and I think she saw it. She had to go help the other girls, but it's like, no, girl, they were confused as fuck. They needed you. Because essentially we learned that they couldn't go without Avery's approval on her end.
Yeah, calling in.
And she wasn't helping them at all.
At all. She did nothing. But I feel like if I was her, I wouldn't have thought that I needed to be like, their goal is to find me.
But the way she helped Kasi and Joy, I think she should have realized that after. Well, I guess she probably ended up doing, because after she helps them, she does end up calling. So
yeah, that's true. So Joy and Kasi pull up to the pigeon nigga, and the pigeon guy, we see that they are doing the right thing. We're like, oh my god, they got their checkpoint. Yay, they went to the right place. The pigeon guy tells them that there is a bird that's going to fly straight to Jimmy's coop, because these pigeons are able to fly to specific places.
Yeah, I guess pigeons.
train pigeons. Girl, pigeons are smart. Because me, I couldn't fly nowhere. So Avery Avery calls them, and when they're discussing what they have to do, Avery's like, "Oh, I have a picture of a bird, and it says that this is like an award-winning bird. This must be the one that you need to get to, so that you can get to me." So she starts describing it.
Cause was like, "Bitch, how you find a bird? How you follow a bird?
How do you follow a bird?"
So literally, honestly.
So Joy and Kasi are looking at these birds and they're trying to decipher which one is Avery describing. So Avery's like, "There's a black spot," and Avery's doing a phenomenal job.
But honestly, I don't think I would have caught that because all the pictures look the exact motherfucking same.
Oh my god, they did. So Avery's like, "There's a black spot on the back,
colors. She was saying colors. I'm like, "Bitch, how you see all them colors?" She said,
"There's
black,
gray,
white,
wings, blue, white skin, long hair,
lighter blue beak." I was like, "Okay, descriptory. Let's go."
So she described it very, very well, and based on her description, Joy was like,
Joy picked it out,
and Kasi was like, "Girl,
Kasi the Mo."
Kasi was just like, "I just don't think it's that one. I really think it's this one." And Joy was like, "Girl, if you can release that one and you can follow that one, but I'm
not doing it." And I love when it's like that. I don't know what you're doing. I'm not with that. I'm not. It basically was Joy gonna sit up there and quit if she couldn't release her picture.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So Kasi ends up convincing Joy to do rock, paper, scissors for it. And it's like, "You're the mole."
No, and Joy says, "Who does that for $10,000? Who does rock, paper, scissors?" And that's when Kasi has a diary room. I just feel like Joy doesn't make decisions that fare well for the group. Okay, miss, I took the first exemption. Everyone had to sleep in the cold, ass, dirty ground after waking up at 3 a.m. Be serious.
Kasi has to be the mole. She has to be. Like, this girl is just so bad. Just so bad. So, girl, they play rock, paper, scissors, and Joy wins, thankfully, because the mole would have won this one if she didn't.
Right.
And they release the correct bird, and they have to follow that bird to Avery. So they get in a taxi, and they're following it. So Avery finally sees the number that's on the pizza box. She's like, "Damn." So she calls in the order. She said, "Can I get an order for this to Jimmy's place?" And cashier was like, "Who's Jimmy?" Because it's giving I don't know that name.
She said, "We have a lot of Jimmys. I don't need Jimmy more." I'm like, "Well, damn, like there's no way I could have been in that bird cage. Yeah, none of them would have got to me."
Oh God.
Because it's like the way you have to decipher things. Like, she got the last name through reading the article, but from what I can see, they weren't necessarily connected.
The article was with the pigeon connected with Joy and Kasi, and then the actual pizza box, it could have been a whole nother Jimmy, but I guess it was the same Jimmy, and she knew it. So she knew it was Jimmy Vasquez.
Observant she was like, queen,
"Okay, Jimmy Vasquez." Which is why she was chosen to help them lose.
It's giving Mo.
So Will was like, "It's interesting that, Jacob chose Avery to be the observant one. So maybe he purposefully knew that she was gonna mess up and da-da-da-da." It's like, "Girl, calm down." So they have 10 minutes left, and finally Jacob and Will are on their way to Avery. Mind you, Kasi and Joy have already been on their way, so they're pretty close to Avery already. So everyone's on their way to Avery. Currently, we go to Kasi and Joy. We see them pull up to Avery's place. There's 1 minute left, and at this point, we see that with Jacob and Will as they're following the pizza driver. Other pizza drivers are pulling up, and they're on these little mopeds. So the pizza drivers are on a moped, and then boom, an identical pizza driver on a moped is pulling up, and Will's like, "God damn." So now they have to focus on which one is the actual one with Avery's.
But it's so funny because they came out of nowhere. Mind you, this is the middle of the day of Sydney, Australia, right? And
real people driving
around this crossway, and it's like literally the 4 pizza delivery people on mopeds, and then the taxi just following them in a circle. And then when they do the wide shot, you see bitches is literally waiting in traffic. People at stop signs. Like, when the pizza driver finally goes and they have to follow them, it's like they almost get hit by a car. Like, this is like, who approved this? People gotta go to work.
So they're on their way to Avery, and then we see that Joy and Kasi have made it there already. And Avery was like, "It's not given they will make it in time because y'all are barely here, and there's 1 minute left." So Jacob and Will are still trying to truck along, and they unlock their key. Joy and Kasi unlock their key, and Avery's like, "Dang, they don't make it." 3, 2, 1, boom. So finally, a few seconds later,
that Jacob's done fucked.
Jacob's done fucked up. So later, Will and Jacob, they pull up, they unlock her, and Will's like, how you didn't see the number on the box? And Avery is like, I mean, the number was on the top of the box. You said look on the top of the box. I'm going to look down at the top of the box.
I thought was
I'm not
really
look on the side of the box.
It's like if he said number, I mean, I guess maybe she just don't order a lot of pizzas. But numbers are usually on the side of the box. Like, I don't know.
See, and here's
maybe I'm just a big bitch.
But no, here's the explanation because Avery has a diary room. She says, maybe I saw the number. Maybe I didn't.
Maybe I'm the mole.
I ate it up. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not giving that. It's definitely giving you to not see it. Like, girl.
She lied. She went Zyra. She's like, let me lie about this.
Let me lie real quick. Let me be cute. That was like, so how didn't you see the numbers? Maybe I saw the numbers. No, bitch. Nah, you didn't see the motherfucking numbers.
With your dumb ass. So she's alleging.
Why you gotta be dumb ass?
She's alleging that this was all a gag. I guess a little bit, but girl, I guess. So, boom. They lost it. They didn't win the money. And they go and they have a dinner again. And Joy said, it's time to play some more mind games.
She said she called out Jacob and got Greg out. Now I'm going to confuse more people.
So she pulls up and
we
she
love
says,
stunts and shows. We love stunts and shows.
Literally, though. Joy's iconic. So she apologizes to Jacob. She says, I'm so sorry.
She starts off real nice. Jacob, I just want to apologize.
I just want to apologize. I don't think you're the mole. And I'm truly, truly apologetic. But between Avery and Cassie, I have a pretty good idea on who might be the mole.
And she's so messy because the way she did it gave very much, I apologize for accusing you because it's really one of these. Mind you, she thinks it's Will still.
She don't think it's none of them, child.
She's hilarious.
So Joy says Cassie has made so many bad decisions throughout this entire game. She made so many bad decisions today. She didn't want to go to the pigeon. She wanted to sit there and stall. She didn't want to release the right pigeon. You just made so many bad decisions. And Cassie's like, it's interesting seeing who's always trying to divert the attention. And Avery actively now, she says this to the actual table. She's like, it's strategy to call people out who you aren't suspicious of, Joy. And Joy was like, that's something the mole would say.
And Avery's like, look, if you think I'm the mole, you vote me, you will go home.
And here go Alex, messy ass. So has anyone told a lie this entire time?
Here go Joy lying ass. I don't lie.
And that's like, Avery said, Joy, you're the main one who lies. Please, Joy. It's like, damn. So Alex is like, of the 8 missions we've had, who hasn't told a lie? Jacob ass gonna raise his hand. Me, and it's like, Jacob, please sit down.
The mole.
So when they get to the taking the quiz, Will says there's so many possibilities that Joy may be the mole, and there's a bunch of Joy flashbacks of her reading the map wrong, her struggling about the key situation, her struggling. She struggled a lot. Avery says it's either Jacob or Joy. Avery has some flashbacks of Joy struggling to do her task. And Avery says Jacob is not. Jacob is suspicious because
he doesn't ask too many questions.
Because he doesn't ask too many questions, and that the mole already knows all the answers. And Jacob is not observant. He doesn't really know anything about us. And it's like, if you're the mole, you don't need to know anything about us.
Exactly.
Jacob says Avery is always trying to confuse everyone, and you can't trust a word out of her mouth, so he's suspicious of Avery. Cassie thinks the mole is Joy, and that's all she says. That's all she's been saying.
Because she's the fucking mole.
She's the mole. Joy says Will could 100% be the mole, and he masks himself as this big competitor because he's the mole. So we get to some of the quiz results. We see Avery is safe because she's the mole. Who did Avery guess? Avery said it was either Jacob or Joy. So it's like, how is she safe? Because it's not Jacob or Joy. Cassie is safe. Cassie says she thinks it was Joy. How is Cassie safe? Will is safe.
Cassie's the mole.
Cassie's the mole. Will, Avery, and Cassie all said they thought it was Joy, and they're all safe. Jacob and Joy are the last 2 people we don't know are safe. So we're waiting for Jacob and Joy's.
If Joy go home, I'm gonna be
Joy
so
might be the
mad.
mole.
And at first I thought, oh, she honestly may go home just because how the elimination was set up. This is the first time we've down to the last 2, and they haven't done a the person who's out doesn't see their screen. I assume they would do that. Like they have everyone go and they're safe, and then the last person just like, well, there's no need to touch your screen. It's time for you to go. I can see that happening. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, trying to, think about how people have gone home, we've seen Casey say she suspects Jacob. And we've seen Greg say they suspect Jacob, but then they both went home. Joy is saying that she suspects Will. And I just feel like that makes more sense in this situation. I feel like someone like Jacob who's saying it's Joy, I mean, who's saying Avery.
Avery, yeah.
I think he might could go home because I really don't think it's Avery. We've seen Pranav and we've seen
Dom
go home for voting Avery. Unless Netflix is trying to play us, it wouldn't make sense for Joy to go home for voting Will, especially because she's had Will at the forefront of her mind all of this time. I don't think Kasi votes matter because Kasi's the fucking mole. And I think Avery, she splits her votes a lot, and she also said Jacob or Joy. So she's probably still doing a lot of splitting. I don't know. I just feel like if Joy goes home, it wouldn't make sense to me. But we move.
And if she goes home, then who's the mole?
I don't think she's the mole, so that's not even that.
But that's the thing. If she goes home, then who is the mole? Because it's probably not Will. She's voting Will. So who the fuck is the mole? Jacob? Maybe Jacob.
Jacob could be the mole. If she does,
if Jacob goes home, then who the mole?
If Jacob goes home, then I think Kasi's the mole. If Joy goes home, I think Jacob could easily be the mole. Jacob or Will. It can't be Will because if Joy goes home, then it's not Will. Because
that thing you don't think it's Avery, and you saying if it's Avery, you're gonna be mad because it was obvious, but you don't think it's Avery.
Girl, it's Kasi. And like I said, if Joy go home, it's probably Jacob.
Okay, my final answer. I think Will is the mole. Final answer.
If Will is the mole, that means Joy is staying and she's winning the game because she's the only person who has some clout.
I think Will is the mole and Joy's gonna win the game. Period.
I'm down with that timeline. Let's get it. Period.
Joy's finna win the game. Will is finna be the mole. We have it all clocked.
Oh my god! If Joy win, and we get 3 Black women winners in 1 year, I'm going to nut everywhere. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be on the screen. It's gonna be on the camera. It's gonna be on my mic. It's gonna be on my laptop. This bottle's gonna be filled. This cup is gonna be filled. It's gonna be nut everywhere if Joy wins this damn game. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm gonna nut. Let me stop. So,
or Kasi can still win Mothers in top 5. Well, she's confirmed in top 4 now.
Is the mole.
The mole can win. But Kasi asked not. If Kasi the mole, her ass not winning. She's too motherfucking obvious. If you sitting in top 3 with Kasi and you don't think she's the mole, something wrong.
Kasi's mole is kind of satisfying because we've been able to see her mole activities throughout, and it will be a good little flashback for that. Will would be like, what mole activities was he really doing for her? Like, y'all just made that up at the end. Y'all asked somebody to be y'all paid somebody at Final 3 to be the mole. No, there was no mole the whole time. And y'all paid somebody.
Will, it would just be random because I feel like I say, unless Will has really just been fucking shit up behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, this week 2, whatever the fuck, release of The Mole. Check us out for the finale of The Mole. We will be posting that once it drops, 2 days after it drops, whenever it drops. So be on the lookout for that. We also are covering the Challenge, Survivor, and Amazing Race for this week. So check us out for that. And just stay tuned. Like and comment, and share and subscribe if you fuck with us. If you don't fuck with us, still do it. I don't know.
Period.
All right. Bye, y'all.